Go, bro! I had not met Terria before today. And I said, by the way, when you guys see him, I really need to talk to him. Get a tap on the shoulder. I turn around, and I'm staring at like his belly button, go, whoa, dude. Anyway, it was a great conversation. What a great guy. Stephen Covey once said, I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. And then the rest of it would have been in the actions I took based on those decisions. You're getting such great stuff. Don't just hear it. Act upon it. And I want to introduce you now to your next mentor, who is someone who is absolutely someone of action. She's an author, a speaker. She's a kick fanny business guru, a seven-figure earner. And I love the way she describes it. I'm a momtrepreneur. But her story really, remember, in her very first network marketing company, in this last 4 years, she's a seven-figure earner. She's gone to the highest achievement rank in the company. And people go, wow, she must just have the magic and the special light, and that's just not me. It's always the story before the story. If you go back 20 years, what you find out is you're someone who became an attorney as a young associate. For 5 years, she worked as an attorney. But as that young associate being abused, 10, 11 o'clock at night, every night, 5, 6 days a week, she said, at one point it finally got to her where she said to herself, she stopped and said, this life sucks. Have a kid? Are you kidding? I couldn't even have a dog. There'd be no time for them. So she walked away from the legal profession, to the consternation of her family, no doubt. But she'd always been into health. In fact, she's been a world performing triathlete at some point in her career. But she's always been into health. She said, I'm going to become a Pilates teacher. It's something I've always loved. For 15 years, she did that. After 1 year, she developed a six-figure income because she had already built the habits of what is it like? Don't be outworked. Whatever it, don't be afraid of the hard work. Do what it takes. Don't be outperformed. And so she became a six-figure earner, 15 years as a Pilates teacher. Her daughter was 2 years old when she realized, I just don't have enough time for family. I need something to do to make more money, when all of a sudden she got hit out of left field and hammered by a health condition. It was an intestinal problem that in 2 weeks she lost 20 pounds, in the hospital for a month. And it was because of the stress that had built up over exchanging time and life for money. So as she came out, she said, I've got to figure a different approach. I want to have more time with family. And someone shared with her that you could actually have both. You can have lifestyle and income. It's called network marketing. She'd never been around it before, but she said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to attack it the way I attack everything else. She has built her business, has become a social media powerhouse. But let me give you a perspective. She didn't come with experience to this profession. She didn't even have a Facebook page when she joined network marketing. She started her Facebook page when she joined network marketing. But she said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all out, flat out, in the right way. So she began to study and absorb, and very rapidly she began to figure out how it worked. Over that time, in the 4 years, as she set the fastest growth, some of the fastest growth records in her company, has gotten to the highest achievable rank in the company, though there are others at that rank. She's done it so rapidly. She has, a year ago, when I introduced her for the first time, she had 500 personal enrollments. I asked her just a few seconds ago, I said, by the way, I'm sure it's different. What is it now? I want to get it right. She said, it's 800. She's personally enrolled 300 over the last year. If you want to hear from someone who knows how to take, the realization is about a decision with action. Your world is about to get rocked. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. Welcome to the stage, Miss Haley Hobson.
Wow, this is intense. I've got some rocks in my pocket just in case I get nervous. So if you see, it looks like I've got a bunch of tissues in here just to calm me down from this big room. So I want to tell you guys a story. Last week, my husband and I were packing to go to Mexico for Thanksgiving. And this funny thing happened. He pulled out the ironing board. That wasn't the funny part, although it is kind of funny because he never pulls it out. And he started to iron a shirt. My mom wanted us to wear pink for the family picture. And I said to him, hey, can you grab that shirt on the back of the laundry room door? somehow it got thrown in the laundry a couple weeks ago and it needs to be ironed. That's what I thought I said. What he told me I said, or what he heard I said, was, why are you blaming me for putting your dry cleaning in the laundry? Has that ever happened to anybody? Where you say something and somebody else interprets it completely different? I thought I said something, but he made it mean something else. I thought I said something, and I may have actually said something else. I want to talk to you all today about building confidence and yet still being kind. I've heard a lot of people talk over the last couple hours about their journey in network marketing. Jordan talked a little while ago about it being the vehicle to get somewhere else. And what I've noticed in myself is that this business has actually become the vehicle to me becoming a better person. And in part of that, I have had to learn how to change my communication. I've had to work very hard over the last couple years to learn how to communicate differently. Because I am confident. I've grown up very confident. But sometimes my words don't always come across the way that I intend. So I grew up in a very loud, confrontational, I'll be a huge stereotype right now, but I'm allowed to say it because this is where I came from, New York Jewish family. We yelled a lot. And if you weren't the most loud, if you weren't the most aggressive in the room, then you didn't get heard. For instance, when I would fly home to visit my parents, my mom would scream to me, "Get your stuff out of the kitchen, it's all over the place." And I would look and I'd say, "Really? All I did was put my purse on the kitchen counter." And so I'd have to yell and defend myself because she was, or I felt like she was attacking me for messing up her kitchen. Or the best would be when I'm messing up the laundry room with my laundry. Isn't that what it's there for? But anyway, if you weren't the loudest, if you didn't talk the loudest, and I don't mean to say that we weren't kind, because my family is tight, we love each other. But if you weren't the loudest, you didn't get heard. And that was all I knew. And we grow up and we communicate with others. What happens is we communicate with how we've learned from the past, right? So when I started my network marketing business, I don't think that my communication skills were as strong as they could have been. And what I want to talk to you about today are two different lessons I've learned. One is the lesson where you are trying to reach out to somebody in your organization that you may have sponsored it or you may not even know. And yet you don't have the confidence to do it, and so you do nothing. Or when you communicate with somebody and you think you said something, but they're hearing something totally different. Now, when you say something to somebody, you may have a choice in how you communicate, but I'll tell you something that I think is really important. And it's one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that the person who's hearing also has a choice on how they want to make that mean. So I learned over the last couple of years that I can say exactly what I need to say and be heard. I can be confident, and yet I can be lovable at the same time. I can ask for what I want and still come from a place of kindness. That's my responsibility. But it's also my responsibility when somebody says something to me to choose how I want to make that mean. So let's talk about commuting down into our organization for a second. I'm going to use the word taprooting, which means when you go down to a lower level and maybe you're connecting with somebody that you don't even know. When I was a premier in my organization, which was one of the lower ranks, my diamond upline, who I didn't know, who didn't sponsor me, who was not actually 9 levels above me, reached out to me and sent me the most beautiful, heartfelt email. telling me how amazing I was. I had done what most people sometimes take a year to do in only 1 month. And he sent me a beautiful email and he inspired me. And I had no idea what a diamond was, but it sounded really important. And it made me feel really special. And he inspired me to attend my own company's leadership conference a couple months later, where I knew no one at all. I sat in the back of the room of 1,500 people at that time, but I was inspired to go. And you know what? That conference changed my life. That man changed my life. And that man passed away this past summer, but I will never, ever forget the kind words that he used with me in just that email. Now, that is why taprooting matters. So I did have a wonderful upline who did enroll me, and she felt as new, however, as I did in the business. And although I am so grateful for her introduction to my business, she didn't offer me a ton of support. She didn't know how to at the time. She didn't think I needed her. Not her fault. But what I'm trying to say to you guys is that we all need support. And we all want to feel supported. So while Jordan talked about tethering a little while ago, which is super important, remember in the beginning, there are people who need you. And there are people who want to feel your love. And if you're not confident enough to lovingly reach out to them and hold their hand for a little bit in the beginning and show them the way, then you're doing yourself and them a big disservice. You might have amazing people underneath of you, and because you're not confident enough yet to reach down, you're walking away from an opportunity for all. So remember that taprooting, which is communication, actually matters. Now I want to switch gears for a second, and I want to talk to you about how communication can be effective in other ways, and that means asking for what you want. So many people are afraid to actually ask for what they want. And it's imperative. We've heard so much inspiration over the last couple of days of believing in yourself and going after your dreams, right? You have to put that intention out there. And sometimes you actually have to verbally communicate it to somebody else, maybe even in your organization. And it's really important that you come from a place of confidence, not a place of fear. So I want to ask you a question. Have you ever had a builder in your organization who said they wanted to build, but after months, maybe even years, they still hadn't done anything? You're giggling in the background, right? It's like every single person should be raising their hand now, right? And the thing is that you may be afraid to say something to them, right? So one option is you totally avoid all communication. Or it may actually get worse. You may actually demonstrate passive aggressive behavior. And that's totally mature, right? And very productive. And it can get even worse than that. I've seen situations where communication has gotten really confrontational. Also super productive, right? So in those situations, you guys, nothing gets resolved. And you walk away feeling disempowered, and you walk away feeling angry, and you walk away sometimes feeling really sad. So remember I told you in the beginning when I first started my business that my communication skills weren't the best? Well, I have to tell you, I had a couple of relationships that actually suffered because of it. And I still think about them. Like, what would have been different if I had known how to communicate better? And I'm not blaming myself because, hey, we all come from where we come from. And like I said, that was all I knew. I knew the way that I acted used to get me exactly what I wanted. But then what I wanted changed. And I knew I had to change as well. So network marketing becomes the vehicle for you to dive in and really work on your own personal development wherever that may be. So for me, it was dealing with my own insecurities. And it was learning how I could come from a very loving place, not aggressive, not defensive. And guess what? I was able to lead so much more effectively. So I ask you, which communication sounds better? Hey, you said you wanted to do something and you said you wanted to build, but I don't see you doing anything. It's awesome, right? Or, hey, when you signed up, you mentioned that you may want to hit the rank of diamond, and I would absolutely love to support you. And I don't know if your goals have changed. If they haven't and you're struggling, I want to be here for you. I can help you with some action steps. I'm wondering, how can I help you achieve your desires? Do you know I am committed to you no matter what? Which sounds better? And if you come from an authentic place and that is what you mean, then you probably won't have somebody interpreting a statement to mean something else. Because that could have been what you meant the first time around, but somebody heard it differently, right? If you come from a place of love, you can still be authentic and you can be truthful. And in my opinion, everyone wants to hear the truth. Everyone wants to be told the truth, don't you? I am a big fan of personal development. I'm a big fan of growing. And if I'm doing something that could be better, I'd love to hear it. How can I serve someone else better? How can I be more effective? Tell me. I want to know the truth. Don't you think other people want to as well? And so I believe that no one can be upset with you for speaking the truth as long as your communication is not defensive or confrontational. But the problem is that so many of us come from a place where we are living in fear. And so our first instinct is defensiveness. Our first instinct is confrontation. So if we can step back and ask someone else what they intended to mean, then it's possible when we communicate back and forth, we'll all be more effective. Communication is key. So by learning how to be a better communicator, I was able to help my teams grow, and I was able to not feel the bent down anger and resentment that I had one time felt before. So this is when I decided, and you might want to take a picture of this slide, that the 5 qualities that I wanted to have in a leader who I was going to work with would possess confidence, they would be capable. What does capable mean? You send a brand new builder a welcome email or a package, and they actually don't ask you a question. They read it, and they sign somebody up all by themselves. That is capable. Committed. Committed means when things are going poorly, you're still there. You're showing up on leadership calls. You're attending events. Month after month, you're in it. That's committed. Coachable. People don't have to recreate everything all by themselves. Watch what other people are doing and be coached. And the last is good communicators. Who do you want to work with? I think that the key to great leadership is to communicate expectations, educate, and instill confidence into your team. Now, I think there's amazing people in this industry, but I also think there are amazing people in billions of industries. So I love this quote from Siku Andrews. It says, learn from outside your industry to become better within your industry. Watch what other people are doing who are successful. And if you want to learn how to communicate, see how other people are successfully doing it. I remember years ago going through one of my yoga trainings and noticing that when my yoga guru spoke in a very quiet, slow voice, everybody flocked in and sat around and wanted to listen. He had this way of communicating and owning the room. I noticed it. I noticed when other people speak who are slower talkers than me, that I should stop and breathe a little bit. Right? Because they're effective in their communication. So don't be afraid to observe how other people are communicating, what's working and what's not working. You guys, the key to greatness is seeing yourself bigger than what you think is possible. And your voice can be so powerful and still kind with your own vision so that you too can achieve greatness. Can you all stand up for a second? I want you to repeat after me. I can be better than good. I can be exceptional. And the ability to be exceptional includes the skill of communicating with confidence and kindness. Thank you so much, you guys. I got the eye of the tiger. I have one more thing to say. I have a special request. So my daughter's 7, and all she's known is me traveling for my business since she's 3. She knows no other way. She's happy. And when I'm traveling, she tells her friends, my mommy's really famous. So what I'm wondering is if I can take a video right now of you guys saying hi to her. So when I go visit her in the lunchroom next week, because we're allowed as parents to do that, she can show her friends I'm famous. Madeline, I'm here in Las Vegas, and I'm going to let everybody say hi to you on the count of 3. Hi, Madeline. I love you. Thanks, you guys. I got the eye of the tiger, dancing through the fire.
We're going to go till about 5 minutes after 4, if that's okay. 5 minutes after 4. We have 2 more speakers, spectacular, amazing, couple of the people I've been looking forward to the most. One thing I want to tell you about, though, how many people feel like there's a gap between what you know you could do and what you're doing? How many people feels like there's room for improvement in your emotional state? There's room for improvement in your strategy, room for improvement in your personal growth. One thing that we put together this last year, we don't talk about it a lot because the group is so busy to servicing the people who are interested, is we put together a group of GoPro coaches. These are people who are outside of the network marketing profession, and their entire purpose is to help you experience a breakthrough in your inner game, the breakthrough in your personal growth and your personal development, your strategy, your mindset, overcoming your limiting beliefs, getting past your frustrations, your doubts, your worry, your concerns. That's what they're there to do. And we have staffed up, not to be able to take care of every single person in the next 7 days, but we have staffed up to be able to offer every single person in this room a free coaching call, individual, one-on-one, with one of our GoPro coaches to help you evaluate what's possible in your life. How many people would like to take them up on a free GoPro coaching call? Okay, so the staff is going to pass out a form. There's nothing for you to buy. There's no obligation. There's nothing for you to join. This is simply a gift to you as part of being here. All you have to do is put your name and contact information. One of our GoPro coaches will contact you and set up an appointment for you to have this conversation. I would encourage you, regardless of your level of success, to explore that conversation to see if there's a way for you to shorten your learning curve, a way for you to put together a emotional and mental game plan to make 2017 the best year of your life, okay? So fill that out and make sure as you leave here today that you pass that form in. Please print clearly. If they can't read it, they can't help you. All right, the next presenter I get to introduce. This guy has become a dear friend. He's an ambassador for the network marketing profession. He is a person who is humble but is strong, and that's a rare combination. A person that doesn't take himself too seriously, but a person that is filled with wisdom. He can give you some ideas and strategies to be able to improve your life, to get past the limiting belief, to get past your doubts, and to get past your fears. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big network marketing pro welcome to Mr. Tom Chenault.
So much love you, buddy. Wow. Oh, yeah. Wow. Well, I have never seen more naked people in my life. This is unbelievable. And I know you guys heard a little Jordan Adler old man joke, which was very not funny. So then his sidekick, Richard Brooke, walks up right as I'm about to go on. And I have my jacket off. And he goes, because I wasn't going to wear my jacket. And he goes, "Are you trying to be a supersized Steve Jobs?" Who says that right before somebody's going to go on? I mean, like, especially after Jeff Roberti, all those people. So, yeah, I am a hot mess. I am 100% sure of that. And another thing that you need to know is I despise slides. But they made me make slides, which was really quite the trick bag for me because I don't even have any clue as to how to do it. So the last day possible, we had to have it done by midnight. And I handed my wife all the slides at 10 o'clock. And she was ready to kill me. So she had to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning. But it was so funny. I am a recovering alcoholic. I haven't had a drink in 28 years. How about that? We'll get more to that later. But what's so crazy about it is when you're an alcoholic, all you do is move the addiction, right? So when you get invited to speak at one of these deals, you are so nervous. In fact, Eric, he sends me a text or a note that says something about speaking at GoPro. So I read it. I don't believe it. I texted him 4 times going, I'm going to tell my friends, you have to tell me if it's like I'm going to speak or I'm going to be serving water. And he finally said, you're actually going to speak. So then I really went into hyper nervousness and, I can't drink. So because I decided to lose like 50 pounds, like Jeff Roberti did, but I have like anorexia, dyslexia. So what happens is I'm sitting here doing the slides and I hear about healthy peanut butter cups. So I buy these healthy peanut butter cups. And I'm not trying to do any carbs because they said if you do no carbs, you're going to lose all this weight and you're going to be a hockey stick with hair. So I said, I'll do it. So I have this, so I read the label and it's got carbs in it, but I think just one's not going to hurt. I got done with those slides and I cleaned up my desk. And in that box of 20 that when I started peanut butter cups, there were 4 left. I ate 16 in 2 hours. How about that? So if you don't think that this is scary stuff, you are so wrong. But it's not as scary as when you first got in this business and you had no idea how to talk to anybody. And all that happens is everything just goes up a little bit, you know? And this is something I didn't have a choice on when I said yes. I didn't have a choice of saying no. But I know there's many times when you've had a chance to do something, even sitting across the room from somebody in a restaurant, where you had the chance to either step across that restaurant and step through the fear, or you just stood still and said, I'm going to figure it out and send them a report or do whatever it did, and you stayed where you were. I am begging you to fight through the fear. Fight through it, no matter what. This business is so unbelievably good. It's frightening. You guys that are new are embarking upon something, the ride of a lifetime. But I want to go to something serious. My life's given toward helping recovering alcoholics, addicts, homeless people, things like that as much as I can. And we are a community of people here who are really, really like that. And some dear friends of mine down in Dallas, Texas, a guy named Dallas Frazier and his beautiful wife, Michelle, and their daughter, Jaden Faith, decided to go on Thanksgiving Day to an inner city Dallas church and feed the homeless. And after they got done with that church service and feeding the homeless, they were going home. And on the exit ramp, a guy did not slow down and hit them at 70 miles an hour. Jaden is in a serious coma that she's been in for days here. And all I want you guys to do is, I don't know how you pray, how fast, how slow, but for the next 15 seconds, however you pray harder than that for that little girl to come out of that coma. So let's give it about 15 seconds of like hard prayer. All right, you did it. She's going to be fine. This is serious stuff. Give her a round of applause. Little Jaden Faith Frazier. I can't comprehend that for me or for anybody else. It's troubled me since Thanksgiving Day, and I had to say something. We are happy people here. We are not mean people. The election was something that was absolutely so tough on all of us, because you had these people saying mean things to each other, and at the end of the day, then all of a sudden they're hugging right now, and we're wondering what's going on. We don't roll that way. We love like crazy, then we love more. That's who we are. We are not like this guy. That guy's a bad, bad boy, because he said something about our profession that I didn't like. He said something about my wife I didn't like. And you know what? We're in a profession that people get to do that, and we need to fight back. But we don't fight back with mean words. We don't fight back with any of that stuff. We fight back with love. That's how we fight back. We fight back with being professional, and we fight with getting around people that aren't that way. We get around people like this guy. That's who we love, right? Eric Warre. I always wanted. 20 years ago, I went to Arizona. I'm going to run so out of time. You guys aren't, I don't even know what the hell I even brought these damn slides for. All right. 20 years ago, Eric Worre spoke at like this arena in Phoenix, and I was like a BB on a 4-lane highway. I was so far up, I couldn't see him with binoculars. And I'm going like the guys in the back room about 100 rows back from that. And I'm going, they didn't have monitors. It was horrific. And I was so jealous of Eric, and I swore one day I was going to get there, and I wanted to be just like him. And I tried, and I failed so hard to be just like Eric Worre. Because I can't be Eric Worre. I can't be Richard Brooke. I won't fall off this stage. I can't be those people. But I'll tell you one thing right now. I finally figured out that I could become one hell of a Tom Chenault. And the way that you get, here's my iPad, and I thought, you see, I am so bad. It's amazing. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you something else. Never mind. Like my wife this morning, the reason my shirt tail's out and I'm wearing blue jeans is because she was so sure that if I wore a suit, my pants would be unzipped and my shirt tail would be out anyway. So that's why I dress like this. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? And yeah, she's not up here, so I don't have any help. So here's what's going on. This industry is so easy to pick on because we act like crazed Moonies out there. No offense to you Moonies, but we've got to stop doing that. We can't make product claims. We can't make income claims. We've got to, we hate it when people run network marketing under the bus, but we don't have any problem at all saying to people, oh, your job sucks. Your boss sucks.